It is Monday on Daily Delivery. Michael Rand here, Patrick Reusse with me. I think Minnesota sports fans, Patrick, are glad that it is no longer Sunday because that was one of those Minnesota sports days, was it not? First, the Vikings lose in dramatic fashion to the Lions, and then the Lynx lose in overtime of Game 5 of the WNBA Finals. So we're going to start there, Patrick. Cheryl not happy with the officiating. A lot of people not happy with the officiating.
Yes.
What did you see?
Well, when Cheryl loses Game 5 to in a great series, because the Sparks series in 2016 was probably the first great series in the history of the WNBA. We got robbed by the officials that game, and with a call, what, in the last 8 seconds or something, I can't remember what that was, and she spent her first 15 minutes complaining about the officials after this great series. And last night was the same. What I saw was two basketball teams playing terrible. They both were choking at the now the Lynx do play terrific defense. I'll say that
Hmm.
they stay in front of people, and they but. The other team shoots 30% against you. The two stars of the team, Ionescu, she got guarded, but she also went 1 for 19 or
One for
something.
19.
And
Yep.
Brianna was what, 4 for 16 or something
Four
like
for
that. She
four for
was,
15. Yeah. Five
yeah,
for
she was
34
terrible.
combined.
5 for 34. Their two stars don't make a shot, and all you're going to do is complain about the officials. You should have beat them by 20. We had a terrible game, which is unfortunate because she's been great all season. Courtney Williams was
Yeah.
brutal,
Couldn't make a shot.
brutal to the point they put Heidemann in it,
Yes.
for about a couple minutes there, and then she made a bad play, and they put Courtney back in, but it's too bad because Courtney Williams has, to me, been the key to the. I mean,
Yes.
Collier's obviously the superstar that took them where they are, but getting Courtney Williams in here as a point guard was the biggest move of the season because she's been terrific. But last night, I don't know. A lot of them couldn't handle the moment. I would say that was just the Liberty were just. I mean,
Oh, geez.
they let that crowd get to. They got themselves so nervous that they couldn't do anything. It was a terrible game. It was a throwback to the worst basketball games of the WNBA when they started. It was exciting. It was for the title, but it was horrible play by both teams. And the number of layups the Lakes missed was much more important than the call at the end of the game, as far as I'm concerned. Now, here's what I saw on the Stewart play. They throw it to her, and she kind of bobbles it, right?
Right.
And
Yep.
she's taking her first step, and then she secures it and takes a dribble. And I don't know if she got fouled or not. Considering the way the rest of the game was called, she didn't get fouled because they
No.
let them kill each other. So that's what I'd be complaining about. But the fact that everybody's, I don't know what it is. They throw Ant the ball and it pops up in the air and he grabs it and then takes a dribble. Is that traveling if you take two steps, but you don't really have possession of the ball? I don't know, because it looked to me like she was still fighting to
Yeah, me too.
control the
Yep.
basketball when she first caught it. So I don't, but I'm not a ref. I don't know. Is that traveling or not? I mean, if you don't have the ball, if you don't have possession of the ball, is that a step? I don't know. So if it is, then she traveled, obviously. So, but I, when I'm watching the game, I didn't say she traveled. Did
No,
you?
me neither. No. And the and
So,
the and the replay angle that everyone's getting upset about, you can't tell that she bobbled it.
mhm.
It's only the angle from behind the basket that you can see that she bobbled
Yeah.
it some. And
Yes.
so
So
I
I know.
yeah.
If they does the WNBA, I mean, the other coach after Game 4, she was bad mouthing the
Right.
officials. And Reeves badmouth. Did the WNBA ever issue any statements telling us whether these
I
calls
don't
were correct or not?
I don't know if they do. I don't know if they do like the 2 minute report like the
If
NBA
they
does, but
if they
it
did
would
a
be
2 minute
nice.
if they did a 2 minute report, it might read like the Bible, though. The thing might be like
War and
400
peace.
pages
Yeah.
long.
War
The
and
referee,
peace.
let's face it, the refereeing is horrible. They gotta call fouls. They gotta get these people to stop
Yeah.
pounding on each other. And it's You know what I was saying? I was talking to a couple of old time women who are uh, ba- have been following the Lynx in Minnesota sports for women
Yeah,
forever and ever and ever at the hockey game on Saturday. And I said that it used to be when when they were down and when the gal 20 years ago when they were down on the floor rolling around fighting all the time, it was because they weren't good basketball. They were bad. It was
right.
bad basketball. The ball handling was terrible. But now these are really good athletes. But you can't let them just pound on each other the whole
No.
game. I mean, game four was brutal. It was rugby. And last night it was almost the same. I don't get it. I don't, it's, they call way more fouls in the NBA than they do in this they try to control the game. These people don't control the game. It's incredible.
Well,
So,
and then both game four and game five, they wrestle all game, and then there's a late foul that
yes,
basically
right.
decides the game because
Yes, that's right.
Carlton gets the call with 2 seconds left
Yes.
on the putback in game four, and the Lynx win 82 or what was it? The final was 82-80. I think that's what it
Yeah,
was,
I
and then
mean, I actually went back and looked at that again, the Carlton foul, and she got fouled, yes, but everybody got fouled the whole game. It was not a
right.
brutal. It was not a the fact that they put her in a line with 2 seconds to go in a game when everybody was down underneath the basket wrestling was kind of odd, but we knew one thing. I knew Carol Cheryl would complain, but I
Oh
didn't
yeah.
know that she would make that her whole post game lecture again. And we got robbed. And I've really never lost a game in my life that I should have won. And she's a world class whiner. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, but it's, heat of the moment too. I mean, it was right there. I think probably the emotion of it is it's right there for you, right? Like you are up two
Yes.
and basically like there's only like a 4 second difference between the shot clock and the game clock when they're dribbling out that last possession trying to score and go up four and you get it to Collier and just misses the shot. Like it doesn't go in. I don't know if she got
Last
fouled on that play, what happened, but they
I
just
don't know. I haven't seen it play. I got to go. I wonder if she got. I thought she might have got bumped some, but everybody got bumped. But she kind of just put it off the board too hard. She
yep.
didn't lay it in, and it went bango. I mean, you just won the game. Your
Yeah.
best player, the best player. By the way, she's a better player than Brianna Stewart. Okay, I don't. She might not get the same numbers, but I'll take her any day. Brianna Rihanna choked basically
Well,
both games. She choked in game four and she choked in game five. And and they the fact that Napheesa then missed that layup to win the game, nobody's talking about that. You can't you can't have the other team play that poorly and then whine that you got beat. You should have had them
yeah.
beat by 12. You
Yeah.
shouldn't have had to go down to the buzzer to win the game when they're awful. They're playing
Yeah.
awful.
Yes, and
So
not just playing bad, missing like just missing shots they usually make. Like I think the Lynx played great defense, and by the way, I think McBride was the best player on the court
yeah,
last
she
night. She
was.
was
I
she was
mean,
terrific.
and she's the only one who could figure out go to the basket, lay it in.
Right.
And
Yep.
she never missed any layups. Too bad she didn't
No.
have that last layup. She was great. And I said that on Twitter, I guess, when everybody was screaming at me for not jumping on the refs
Right.
screwed us bandwagon. But yeah, McBride showed up more than anybody on either team did. I'll say one thing though, this Jones has her moments, but she's a damn fullback running over people. When you make her do something in space where she has to make a pass or
Oh
something,
yeah.
she'll run over people and throw it away. And she makes eight. I don't know how many turnovers they ended up with. They must have had 20 something, didn't they? I don't know what
New
they did.
York. Yeah, I've got it
They
pulled up
had,
here. Let's see. They
oh, so
had. No, it says they only had 12. I don't
is
know.
that right? I don't know. I thought,
Jones had four of their 12.
yeah,
So
she gets in traffic and just throws these passes to nobody. It's yeah, they played terrible. It was a bad. The Liberty played. The Liberty tried to give the game to you,
yes,
but you didn't take it. So I
Ionescu shot one of 19. You were like
19, yes, one of
one of
19.
19. Like,
Yeah.
how do you?
She
I don't
makes
know.
that bomb in game three and then makes
Yeah,
this big deal about that was quite a play for a second team All NBA. Well,
yeah.
if they did the voting again after the last two games, you wouldn't be third team for she was
Seriously,
brutal
she was
last
bad.
night. Yes, she was.
Yeah.
So but
Well,
we're not supposed to judge it as harshly as we do when somebody else stinks. We're supposed to play. It was a hell of a series. It was
oh
fun.
gosh, and it
It
was
was fun, but
and
last night
this
the quality of basketball played by both teams was horrific.
at least
That's
the
my
quality of shooting, and that's where you notice the
yes.
nerves most. The quality of the shooting was not there. Like they played hard, the intensity was definitely there. It was
Well,
the
of
tension. The
course.
tension was there. The execution was not there in Game Five on either side, and
No.
it was right there for the Lynx at the same time. I mean, man, think about where they came from this
Oh yeah.
season to get within 5 seconds of a championship in a year where people weren't even sure they were going to make the playoffs is an
Oh,
amazing
it is. It
season.
is.
But
It
man,
is. It
it's got
is.
that's it's just got to hurt right now for them. It's got to
And
hurt
then
even
if
if they're
I think if the center didn't have the bad back, that they probably would have, if she
yeah
would have been healthy the whole
yes
series, I think they win, don't they? Because
yeah
she's.
she still managed to
I mean, she
play.
comes out and plays, but she's not the same. And now they actually rebounded better last night than they did most of the series, right? They usually get pounded on the boards, but yeah, I don't think they got. I
Wasn't
didn't
as
look.
bad, no.
It wasn't.
They give up 9 offensive rebounds. They got 4 offensive rebounds, so it wasn't as bad as it had been. But
No.
there were some key ones though. After Stewart missed those 2 free throws late, New
Oh
York got the
yeah.
ball back. I mean, there's
Boy, did she
just
look like, I mean, was that a choke? Here's a
oh
85% free throw, and he
yes,
goes up there and chokes it
misses
up.
both of
And
them.
they were trying to give it to you.
They were
It was bad. But Collier, all we're gonna talk about is blah blah blah, bad call. That was the game. I had somebody on Twitter. They're all mad at me. Drew Pearson. It's the worst screwing since Drew Pearson. Well, make the layup. Come on,
yeah
win the
yeah
game. That's it's. I don't know.
yeah
It's mixed emotions watching it because I mean, I've watched the series and I'm not Mister WNBA,
right.
but I thought it was great.
It
But
was yeah
yesterday was a black eye on WNBA basketball and not because of the officials.
no
Both teams played bad. So
yeah both
that's
teams a lack of
and
execution a lack of
yes.
execution and
But
no
let's pause and once again say Kayla McBride showed up. She
oh
was
gosh, she
terrific.
was great.
So
She
yeah,
was fantastic. Collier, by and large, was pretty good. Now
yes,
she was 11 for 23 and didn't shoot a single free throw. I think they maybe had a
yeah.
little
That
gripe,
was if you're
a
gonna
gripe that she maybe should have gotten a
yes,
call or two
yeah.
along the way.
If you're gonna complain about anything, it's that she never got to the line, and I don't think she got in game four. She had 2 points the the second half, and she got
Yeah,
hammered along with the rest of
right.
them. She could have shot the 10. I suppose the trouble is if they officiated the game like it should be officiated, each team would have shot 40 free throws
Yeah,
in both games because
right.
there was so much contact. It was rugby for goodness
Yeah,
sakes. Game four, and last night was just I don't know. I mean to if you did a video of WNBA referees, why didn't they call this? There'd
yeah,
be 80 of them in those two
right,
games, and to pick
right.
this last one out is kind of silly, but I guess
Yeah.
that's the way it works. So okay, go ahead. Let Cheryl whine. Yeah, so Cheryl basically now can state that she actually won 6 championships, and the ref stole 2 from him. The refs didn't steal that one when we lost to the Fever in the game five
I
way
don't think
back
so.
when. So,
No,
yeah,
I don't even know if that was a game. I don't even know if that was that a game five? I don't know if it was.
I
I
think
think
it
that was
was
I think
maybe
that
it
was
was
maybe
game
I think that was
four.
only 4. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well,
So it'll be all right.
anyway, it was
So
fun.
it was. Oh
The
gosh.
WNBA got more attention around here. This series got more attention around here than any of the 4 championships that they won
Oh yeah, I think so.
in the teens. Yeah, it's just
I
that
think so.
there were more eyes on it. There were watch parties around town,
Yeah.
and now we can be true blue Minnesotans and
Right.
blame the officials
Right.
for our failings. So that's
Absolutely.
we love that. We enjoy that. Where's this go? Who else is what are other great robberies? What other have we had other had great robberies outside of Drew Pearson? I don't know. Okay.
Controversies and missteps. I
That
don't know.
cost us
I'm sure we did.
championship.
I'm sure we did. Along
All
the
the
way,
Viking fans can come down with
they've got
20
plenty.
of them or something.
Look
They
at well,
favor the Lions. Oh yeah, the mighty
well,
Lions with their program,
yes.
with their decades of ineptitude. Anyway,
We'll always have Phil Cuzzy for the Twins too.
oh, that's right. Yeah, I don't think though that I don't think we're unique in that.
Of
I
course
think
not. No.
all towns like to think the
Yep.
officials, especially when you're playing New York, they want New
Oh,
York to
geez.
win.
Yeah. Yep.
You think when
I
they
think they did want New York to win, but there's something to that. But again, you had ample opportunity to win that game otherwise. Is what I
yes,
would say.
yes, yeah, yeah. Well, they've first WNBA. I heard about when Spike Lee's there acting like a jackass. That they're the New York's trying to make a big deal out of this. So
Yeah.
maybe they did want New York to win. I
Yeah.
don't know. But how do the officials know that? I mean, do
Yeah.
they come in and say, okay, we wanted a game 5, so we let you put Bridget
Right.
Carlton at the line with 2 seconds to go. Now we got the game 5. Now we want New York to win. I don't think they're going to go. I don't
Right.
think they go into the. Does the WNBA even have a director of officials or not?
I don't know.
You
Oh
never
no.
hear from them. They just ignore it.
No.
The commissioner just sits there with a smile on her face as they're out there wrestling around on the floor. The thing should have gotten put under control at halftime of
Yeah.
game 4, and
Yep.
everybody said, "Okay, we're going to start blowing some whistles here until these teams stop putting wrestling holds on each other." So
Right.
I don't know.
I don't think we're blaming officials on the Lions win. That was just couldn't make the plays. They didn't make the big plays. They didn't get a first down when they could have salted the game
Yeah,
away, and they didn't get the stop at the end when they needed it. And that was kind of that. It was
and
not the worst Sam Darnold game by any stretch, but he missed some throws. He made some missteps, but the defense just couldn't stop Detroit in the middle of the game either. 4 straight touchdowns.
no, yeah, and it was they got the free touchdown there on the
Yes.
Pace picked up the loose ball right,
Yes.
and that made it to what
29-28. That gave them the lead.
29
Yeah.
28, and they went for 2, which of course you're going to do to
Right.
get a field goal there. But and they considering they were down 21, what 21-10 was 20 what was
21-10
20
and 28-17. Yeah.
28-17. I mean, it looked like you get that touchdown, and it looks like you're going to win the game. And Detroit, Goff had a great game, and the Vikings came out and looked like they were going to. I mean, they just overwhelmed them that first series right off the bat, and didn't look like Detroit was going to have much luck moving the
No.
ball. And all of a sudden, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
They're good. I hate to admit it, as a long-time Lions. I wouldn't say a Lions basher, a guy who found the Lions very humorous as an
Right.
opponent for years and years and years. It's kind of hard to. I kind of wrote this Sunday. It's kind of hard to adjust to the idea they're good.
Yes.
I mean, but yeah, it's yeah, that's okay. You gotta go out and play the Rams, but the Rams are all beat up to
Yeah,
hell.
they're not that good.
They're not that good. You should go out and beat them. And I don't think any less of the Vikings than I did before the game. It was a battle, and they'd had a couple of they'd been a little shaky their previous 2 games, and this time they had a team good enough to beat them when they were a little shaky. So
Yeah.
Defensively, though, it was a little. I guess is it the first time the defense really got carved up? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean they've had games where they've given up some yards, but it's always felt like they had it under control. It did not feel like they had it under control. Like Detroit was moving it real easy in second and third quarters there. That was hard. And then of course, the last Detroit possession, if they can get off the field, they're going to win the game. And they couldn't get off the field. They got the field goal, and then that was that. So yeah,
Yeah,
it
that
was.
I don't think surprised me. But I'll tell you one thing. Ever since I saw him last year early, that Gibbs, I love that guy,
He's good.
man
Yeah, he's
alive. Is
good.
he explosive? And Bynum was the safety, right?
Yes,
On the whiff
yes.
there.
You
He's
see
not
him in
going to
his
want to. He's not
no,
going to want to see that film
no.
floating around too much. John Gallardi, way back when he was Mr. Tape, and he
Hmm.
would when he was up at St. John's, and he was a film guy back when the film guy. And apparently, if you were in the film room and had a big screw up, you'd get to see it about 12 times.
Is that true? Oh,
That
geez.
would be, and I don't. We probably don't humiliate a guy. They probably just handed everybody their own tape of what the game was,
Right,
what they did
right.
in the game. Not the tape, the whatever. You go look at the video of
The
every one of your
iPads, yeah.
plays, every one of your plays here. But Bynum will not want that. Whoosh!
No.
That was a whiff of all time. There, he didn't put a hand on him, but. I don't know. I wasn't the world's biggest Goff fan either, but his numbers
Well,
have been
when?
gaudy lately.
Yeah. Like, when did he get so good? Like, remember with the trade a few years ago? It was like, oh, they've got to take on Goff's contract. That was like the thing they're getting back, so they get all the draft picks. And then all of a sudden, turns out to be he was fine in LA, but he's pretty good
Very
here.
accurate passer. Yeah,
Yes.
why he
He's good for
doesn't,
this. He's good for this system. That's
and he
true.
doesn't turn it over much. So yeah, they're good. I mean, when this lunatic got hired, Campbell, I thought, man, this is the most lying thing of all time.
Right. Talking about
hire
biting the
this,
kneecaps
hire
off
this
and
loose cannon, crazy guy with short term blowing up. I mean, he still does stupid things. The punt,
well,
right?
the fake punt
Punt
gives
right
him
off the
gives him
bat.
field
What a
position. Yeah.
moron! 4th and 7,
Or from
and
like your own 30. Yeah.
yeah, right off the bat, he does something stupid, and he lets you get off to a good start, and he does these idiotic things, and then plus the Dallas game 2 weeks ago, they're down there and they're trying to embarrass them. They already embarrassed them. It's 37-7, and they're running trick plays down to the
Yeah.
ends, trying to throw to 300-pound lineman, and he does goofy stuff. But man, alive, the key there is they finally got a guy in the draft room who knows what the hell he's doing.
Yeah.
For years,
Yeah.
they were awful at drafting. Matt Millen was the
Oh,
worst of
geez.
all time.
What did he take like 4 receivers in a row? Wasn't
Oh
that his
yeah,
thing?
yeah, right. He just, which is, the easiest position in the NFL to find somebody is. By the way, I did have a great Twitter moment because I was watching the replays again last night, and I said on Twitter, I said, "Do you guys ever notice this? Justin Jefferson does this goofy prance around the end zone afterwards." I said, "He's kind of showing off, if you ask me." He's been doing it for years. Okay,
Like we
you
know.
dummies.
We know.
Thanks
Like
for
we know.
taking the bait. Thanks for
Right.
taking the bait.
Right.
Anyway, but yeah, it was as you said, it wasn't a golden day in Minnesota, but
No.
I I think I think in both cases. You have overachieving teams.
Yes,
So
I think that's true. I think that's true.
what's we can pause for a moment here, maybe in a day or two, to uh, point out that the ESPN, Youngblood told me this. The ESPN expert, whoever that is on the WNBA, picked them
Hmm.
ninth this
Yes.
year, and
Yes.
thought they were
Vopal. Yep.
now picked them ninth this year,
Yep.
and
They did.
if they make a layup with 6 seconds to go in the game, if their best player, the best player on the floor between those two teams, makes a layup with 6 seconds to go, you win. So
Yeah,
that's all I
you win a
got to say.
championship. And the
Yeah.
Vikings, it was more of a missed opportunity than an indictment, right? Like
Yes.
they've
Yeah.
been kind of skating on the edge a little bit in some of these games. They had, they needed the defensive stand against Rodgers to win in London. They've beaten a lot of good teams this year, but yeah, you know,
I
I wasn't surprised on Sunday. I didn't have a
I
great feeling
I
about it going
love the
in.
post game shows. Let's face it, the post game shows are a lot more fun after defeat than they
Oh,
are
geez,
after
yeah.
victory. The call in, and everybody wanted them to. Then now, are they saying that they would have tried a 68-yard field goal? Did I see that?
I don't
I don't
know
know.
if they hadn't got the
But they,
penalty. I don't know. He
but I
might have.
hear that all the callers are saying they should have tried the
Well,
73-yard
from
field.
73, that's too
Okay, the
far.
guy's got a great leg, but it would have bounced to the end zone, luckily. I mean, the kid's
Yes.
been phenomenal. What an acquisition of
Six,
fifth
six,
round,
yeah.
sixth round.
68 wouldn't have been out of the question based on
No,
how
I
much
think they might have tried it.
his 57 yarder in the first half
Hit the
like hit the
back,
net.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I would have tried it. That would have been better than a Hail Mary if they could have
He's
got that. But
phenomenal. Has he already kicked 26 field goals? Is that what I
26 kicks, I think.
26 kicks? Yeah,
So that counts extra
they
points
said
too.
he's 26 for 26, and I said,
Yeah.
"What again?"
Yeah.
No, I
But
mean,
but
they
now
were talking
extra
about
points
extra
aren't gimmies
points.
and extra points aren't
Yeah.
gimmies anymore. Those are 33
No,
yarders. So,
yeah,
it's
that's right. I mean, we had our guy Joseph who would make
oh
a
geez.
50-yarder once in a while, but then he missed 6 kicks a year,
Right.
So,
Yes. Yeah, he's been
and
tremendous.
those
Record is great.
dang sneaky Packers finally got themselves a field goal kicker too. Those dirty
Yes.
dogs. If you're a Viking fan, you were hoping they stuck with that kid who was about a
Yes.
30%er
Right.
I think had been in Viking camp, hadn't he? Narvesen or something.
That sounds familiar. Yeah, but they
One
got
of the guys they were
Yeah,
trying out, I think.
they got
So
McManus now, right? So
yes,
he's a veteran who's
they finally got somebody, and they made a kick. So they're what?
yes, five
They're
and two,
5-2,
5-2.
and
So it's Vikings are 5-1, Lions are 5-1, Packers are 5-2, the Bears are 4-2.
Watch your dreams and savings grow with Royal Credit Union's 4.25% annual percentage yield 12-month certificate. Open now at any Royal office or online at rcu.org/certificate saver. Early withdrawal penalties could reduce earnings and principal. APY accurate as of 2/1/25. Insured by NCUA.
So it's
just Minnesota,
jammed up
man.
now.
We're used to being in these packed divisions, the AL Central and the NFC North,
All the talent, yeah,
all the
it's coming
talent.
around.
And I mean, the Timberwolves are in there with Oklahoma City, which
Yes,
might be the best team
and
in the
Denver.
world. Denver, yeah, Denver. It's funny how people are kind of people are kind of a little bit down on Denver. They don't like some of the stuff Denver did to improve their team. But
Yeah, I don't think they'll be fine though with
I
Jokic
made a
and
transition
Murray.
here, but the Phoenix finally got their point guard, right? One of our
Tyus.
boys, Tyus, finally
Yep.
got Tyus. Going to get to go down there and play 35 minutes a game.
Yep.
So
That's a pretty big move for them.
oh yes, it is because I never could figure out how they got in that position last year. That they
They're just
didn't
like,
have a point guard.
we're just not going to have a point guard.
Yeah,
Like
we're gonna have-
Devin Booker can just kind of be the point guard. It'd be like if the Wolves just let Ant handle the ball all the time. It's like, yeah, sometimes that would work, but a lot of the times you actually would want a point guard out there with Ant.
So with the Timberwolves coming off their greatest season since
20 years.
04,
Yeah.
and we're sneaking up on the opening. I get between the Lynx and then Viking hysteria. I don't think we got jacked up enough for the start of the season here.
No,
did
it
we?
starts tomorrow. Yeah,
I know.
starts tomorrow.
In LA, right? Starts.
Yes,
yeah,
in LA against the Lakers. Yeah.
So let's go. And the other thing is, we have our first Dodgers Yankees World Series since 1981.
Yes,
which was the first
year.
one. Which was the first one I covered.
Oh
and
wow!
it was fantastic because it was. That was when George got in the elevator and got in a fight with the fans.
Oh, jeez.
Remember that? Yeah,
Yes.
that would be before your time. And when he became Mr. May,
Mr. May,
Steinbrenner, and
were we in the middle of Fernando Mania?
When he got a bloop single and asked for the ball, it was great. I mean, that's when the country worried about the World Series. It was the biggest event going, and The Yankees won the first two. It looked like it was going to be a walk, and then the
Right.
Dodgers won the last
I just won
four,
the next
and
four, and it was
that's
wasn't that
yeah.
Fernando Mania? Wasn't that Fernando Valenzuela?
No, I
Was
don't.
he a rookie back then?
Was it? Was it? I can't remember. But I do remember Tommy John
Hmm.
they got he pitched game six, I think, on short rest and got hammered, and they got very upset. My friend Suchi Boy was covering for the St. Paul paper
Oh wow.
then, and he only had to write for for the Minneapolis. He was covering. I was in St. Paul. He was for Minneapolis.
Okay.
He was his columnist, and he only had to write for the Tribune. And I said, get in a cab and go to Brooklyn after the game, and he did. He went over to Brooklyn to some bar and found all these old Dodger fans who were there because they came back and had won the World Series in New York, and he got a
Yeah.
great column out of that. So,
Oh, that's great.
still Dodger fans, even though they're mad at O'Malley for moving them in
50,
1958. So,
yeah, 30 years
so
earlier.
yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, I think we're all sitting here rooting against both those teams, but for TV, the Yankees Dodgers for the first time in 43 years isn't too bad. So
That was Fernando Mania. That was his rookie
that
year, by
was
the way. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, well, I'll have to look up. I can't remember which games he pitched. I can't. Yeah, that's when that was so long ago. We had starting pitchers. When the Dodgers went to the World Series that year, they actually had a starting pitcher. They
Instead
didn't
of
use
just
a bunch of
openers.
nobody.
Yeah.
Bunch of Kopech and a bunch of other guys
Yeah.
coming in. I don't know. They gotta do something. I don't know what they could do, but you can't come up with a rule that a guy starter has to go 5 innings or something. I don't know what you're gonna
I
do,
don't know
but
what you got to do. Yeah.
it's ridiculous. And by the way, speed up rules or not, they're back playing 3.5 hours in
geez.
the postseason. So
Yep.
they got some issues to say the least.
Hey, really quick before we go, the Wild have not trailed this year, and
Yes.
we know the Loons are the 6th seed. They play Real Salt Lake. They avoided that first round by having a good final match. So there you go.
It's which the first round would have
The
been
eight
what?
nine game. The 8-9 game.
8-9 game. Yes, they did. And they scored what, 4 goals or
4 goals,
something?
yeah, 4-1 the other night
Which
against
which is
St.
pretty
Louis, I
good.
think. Yeah.
But let's hurry it up here a little. Why do we have to give them all a week off between games? Why don't they play Wednesday, Sunday, Wednesday or something? Come on, let's go. It's gonna November 9th or something is before this round's over.
Yes.
When's the World Championship in this league? About
They finished like
December 8th, Christmas
late
or something?
November. Late November, I think they're going to finish up.
Yeah, we get a home game. It's going to be cold. What
Yeah,
are
the
we
home
gonna
game is
do
the home game is November 2nd. Yep, never gets cold here anymore. It's fine.
No, November 2nd. But then if they get through this series, if they can advance,
Yeah.
then does it become single elimination or
Yes.
what?
Yes, after this single elimination.
So you get to the semi. You play 2 out of 3 in the
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. It makes no. Yeah, it doesn't.
Semis.
It's weird.
Soccer's the goofiest game there is.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's
the
weird.
hell with the international segments of the
Right.
season. Keep
Right.
playing. Bring back the kicks where we played from late April to the middle of September, and if they were playing in the Premier League, we didn't care. We didn't even know if there was one. I don't think there was one yet, but they stretch it out. People keep showing up. I'll say that they keep announcing 19,000, but
Yeah.
they didn't have a home game for like a month, did they?
No, it was a while.
Incredible. It's just ridiculous. I don't get it. That's But
if any of you were scoring at home on your unofficial daily delivery Monday bingo card, Royce complained about the international break in soccer, so that was it's almost as good as the free space.
Once as good. Oh God, plus we changed them. They changed their roster more than the baseball team does.
Yeah,
they got
all these transfer windows. We don't just have one trade deadline; we have like 3 transfer windows.
Yeah.
It's hard to understand, but they are in the playoffs.
We haven't heard much from the new guy that's running it.
No, Alaman.
The guy. I thought he'd be a very outgoing guy, but he's kind of quiet. We just hear from the young coach.
We hear from Ramsey a lot, but we don't hear from him. Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. What's the European style? Does the manager talk a lot or not? Not the manager. Does the head?
The general manager, the sporting director, whatever we call it. I don't know.
The sporting director. Does he talk a lot?
Because I don't know. I think it's usually the manager tends to be the bigger personality usually in European soccer. So maybe they're carrying on the proud tradition here.
So what's with our Aurora? Are we moving up to the major pro league, or are we still out there trying to?
I think we're still working on it. We're still working on it.
Change out of people's pockets to do it or something.
Something like that.
Why doesn't Ziggy give him the money? They're playing at Ziggy Stadium. They're playing at Ziggy Stadium. He owns a soccer team someplace.
Yeah, Orlando.
Yeah, why doesn't he? He's making $250 million a year. Give him $20 million and let's go here. Come on.
I agree.
Then when I read a story about the Aurora, I can say they're amateurs. What are we doing? This is the college summer league, you idiots. What are we doing with our Aurora fever? So anyway, that's,
all right.
Get in the pro league. But anyway, Cheryl got robbed. Who knew? That's a shock. She's that was probably the most predictable thing of the whole playoffs.
Yes, it was.
If we lost, we would have got robbed by the officials. So
we always get robbed.
I think we can all agree on this. WNBA. I have said for 10 years, the worst thing about women's basketball is the quality of the officiating.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether it's the NCAA, because they're the people, they're the ones that didn't make the cut. Okay,
right. Yeah.
So that was proved again in this series. They have no. Somebody pointed out that they don't really watch. They watch the ball all the time. They don't watch the
away from the ball stuff
going on. I mean, it's the officiating's bad, but it was when you get this most watched series of all time, you should. By the way, never throw into something you're writing that we don't need Caitlin. Make
people are mad. People are mad.
The Caitlin crowd is very.
Yes.
The only thing that matters in women's basketball is. And I discovered Caitlin. Let's repeat that. I discovered Caitlin.
You discovered her. You were onto it.
Yep. We did not need Caitlin to make this a great series, and that's all I was saying. And
it's true.
There's a very strong crowd that wants to tell you that the only reason that the WNBA has some popularity now is Caitlin. The other thing is, what's the deal? The league's still losing a ton of money, $40 million a year or something, and some of the owners are getting upset. But I think they're getting a new TV deal that should help.
Yes, they are. That will help a lot. That has helped them a lot. Agreed.
All righty.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Dark Sunday in Minnesota.
It was a dark Sunday. We'll live to fight another day.
Yes,
we'll see. Wolves tomorrow.
We could be back in the WNBA finals having Cheryl get robbed once again next year. That's okay. All right.
Bye-bye.